What if I told you that one of the biggest reasons people struggle financially isn't a low salary, bad luck, or even inflation? What if it's something much smaller? Something so small that most people barely notice it. Every day, millions of Americans spend $10 without thinking twice. A coffee on the way to work, a quick snack, a food delivery fee, a streaming subscription, a convenience purchase. $10 feels harmless. After all, it's just 10 bucks. It's not a luxury car. It's not a huge vacation. It's not a six-figure mortgage. But what if that daily $10 habit is quietly stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from your future? Today, we're going to break down exactly how $10 a day can keep you poor, why small expenses are far more dangerous than most people realize, and how changing one simple habit could completely transform your financial future. Most people believe wealth is built through big decisions. They think becoming rich means landing a high-paying job, starting a successful business, or making a lucky investment. While those things can certainly accelerate wealth, the truth is that most wealth is built through small decisions repeated consistently over long periods of time. The problem is that most people underestimate the power of consistency. They understand how $100,000 can change their life, but they completely ignore the small habits that determine whether they'll ever reach that number. That's because our brains aren't naturally wired to think long-term. We're wired to think about today. We feel today's pleasure. We feel today's convenience. We see today's cost. But we rarely think about what today's decisions mean for our future. That's why $10 feels insignificant. Nobody feels guilty spending $10. Nobody loses sleep over a $10 purchase. But let's do some math. $10 a day equals $70 a week. That's roughly $300 per month. Over a year, that's $3,650. Suddenly, that tiny daily expense doesn't look so tiny anymore. Now imagine spending $3,650 every single year for the next decade. That's $36,500 gone. And that's before we even talk about investing. This is where things become really interesting. Most people focus on the money they're spending. Wealthy people focus on the money they're giving up. Financial experts call this opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is simply the value of what you sacrifice when you choose one option over another. Every time you spend money, you're not just losing that money. You're losing everything that money could have become. Imagine investing $3,650 every year instead of spending it. If you invested that money into a simple low-cost index fund and earned an average annual return of 10%, after 10 years you could have roughly $60,000. After 20 years, you could have more than $200,000. After 30 years, you could be looking at over $600,000. Think about that. A $10 habit could potentially cost you over $500,000 in future wealth. That's not because $10 is a huge amount of money. It's because compounding is incredibly powerful. Compounding is one of the most important concepts in personal finance. It's the process where your money earns returns, and then those returns start earning returns of their own. Over time, the growth becomes exponential. The earlier you start, the bigger the effect becomes. This is why wealthy people often appear obsessed with small expenses. It's not because they're cheap. It's because they understand what those expenses really cost. When most people see a $10 purchase, they see $10. When investors see a $10 purchase, they see the future value of that $10. That's a completely different mindset. Now let's be clear. This doesn't mean you should never spend money. It doesn't mean you should stop enjoying life. It doesn't mean every coffee purchase is ruining your future. The goal isn't deprivation. The goal is awareness. The real danger comes from automatic spending. Most people aren't making intentional financial decisions. They're operating on autopilot. They buy the same things every day without questioning them. They subscribe to services they rarely use. They pay convenience fees because it's easier. They spend small amounts repeatedly without realizing how much those purchases add up over time. This is especially dangerous because we now live in what many economists call the convenience economy. Almost everything is designed to remove friction from spending. You can order food with one click. Groceries arrive at your door. Streaming services automatically renew. Online shopping takes seconds. Companies have spent billions of dollars figuring out how to make spending as effortless as possible. Why? Because the easier it is to spend money, the more money people spend. Convenience feels amazing. Nobody likes waiting in line. Nobody enjoys cooking after a long day. Nobody wants to spend time comparing prices. But convenience almost always comes with a cost. The problem is that most people only notice the convenience. They don't notice the cost. A delivery fee here, a service fee there, a subscription charge next month, an impulse purchase this weekend. None of these purchases seem dangerous individually. Together, they can quietly consume thousands of dollars every year. This is why so many Americans feel like they're working harder than ever but still can't get ahead. Their income increases, but their spending increases too. Every raise gets absorbed by lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation happens when your spending rises alongside your income. Instead of investing extra money, people upgrade their lifestyle. Bigger house, newer car, more subscriptions, more convenience, more spending. The result is that they never actually feel wealthier. They earn more, but they don't build wealth. This is why income alone doesn't determine financial success. There are people earning $60,000 who steadily build wealth. There are people earning $200,000 who live paycheck to paycheck. The difference isn't always income. Often, it's behavior. Imagine two people earning the exact same salary. One person spends an extra $10 every day on convenience purchases. The other invests that same amount. At first, there appears to be no difference between them. After 1 year, the gap is barely noticeable. After 5 years, the investor begins pulling ahead. After 10 years, the difference becomes substantial. After 20 years, their financial lives may look completely different. One person owns assets. The other owns memories of purchases that disappeared long ago. That's the power of consistency. Most people dramatically overestimate what they can achieve in a few weeks and underestimate what they can achieve in a few decades. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's built slowly. That's why patience is such a valuable financial skill. Unfortunately, modern culture encourages the opposite. Everything is instant. Instant delivery, instant entertainment, instant gratification. We want results immediately. Investing doesn't work that way. Wealth building requires delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is the ability to sacrifice a small reward today for a larger reward tomorrow. Study after study has shown that people who master delayed gratification tend to achieve better financial outcomes over time. That's because wealth building is fundamentally a long-term game. Every dollar you save and invest becomes a worker. That worker generates more dollars. Those dollars generate even more dollars. Eventually, your money starts working harder than you do, but that process can only begin if you stop spending every available dollar. The good news is that the same consistency that creates financial problems can also create financial freedom. If spending $10 a day can hurt your future, investing $10 a day can improve it. Small positive habits compound just as powerfully as small negative habits. That's what makes personal finance so fascinating. Tiny actions repeated over time create extraordinary results. Most people are looking for one big breakthrough, one huge investment, one magical shortcut, one secret strategy. But wealth is usually built through boring consistency. Saving consistently, investing consistently, avoiding unnecessary debt consistently, making smart decisions consistently. None of these actions are exciting. None of them will make you rich next month. But over decades, they can completely transform your life. So the next time you're about to spend $10, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this purchase worth more than what this money could become? Sometimes the answer will be yes. Sometimes it will be no. The point isn't to eliminate spending. The point is to become intentional. Because every dollar has a job. Every financial decision shapes your future. Every habit either moves you closer to financial freedom or further away from it. Wealth isn't built one giant decision at a time. It's built through thousands of small decisions that nobody notices. And that's why $10 a day matters so much. Not because $10 is a lot of money, but because the habits behind that $10 can determine whether you spend your life building wealth or wondering where all your money went.